significant winter storm is on the horizon, and it may disrupt your Thanksgiving plans. Currently, an intense winter storm is making its way across the Midwest and Great Lakes. But here's something to consider. There is an even larger winter storm looming right behind this one. This upcoming winter storm is expected to deliver a broad range of 6 to 10 inches of snow across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley in the next few days. This includes cities such as Chicago, Milwaukee, and even areas just south of Minneapolis, where some localized spots could receive up to 15 inches of snow. This weather pattern will lead to a very active period with several weather systems converging at once. A wave of bitter cold air is colliding with a series of storm systems. How these elements align will dictate who faces heavy snow and who encounters powerful storms. In this forecast, we are going to clearly outline what you must know about this major winter storm that is poised to impact a significant portion of the United States right after the Thanksgiving holiday. We have much to cover in this forecast, including 3 distinct winter storms that may affect the United States in the coming week. Let's begin with our first winter storm, which is currently underway. Presently, a large low-pressure system is positioned over the Great Lakes and southern Canada. This will continue to produce heavy snowfall throughout the day today, which is Thanksgiving. The most substantial snowfall will occur in the upper peninsula of Michigan and central and northwestern Michigan, where an additional 12 to 18 inches of snow is possible. Throughout the afternoon, we will observe lake effect snow picking up significantly near Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, with rates potentially reaching 3 inches per hour. This means a significant amount of snowfall will occur throughout the day. Tonight, the snow will likely continue unabated, particularly in the upper peninsula of Michigan, as heavy bands of lake effect snow persist across the Great Lakes. By tomorrow morning, we can expect the same pattern, with bands of heavy snowfall continuing. The lake effect snow will not diminish until late Friday night. By then, we will be tracking our next winter storm that is expected to develop in the central and northern plains. Regarding total snowfall accumulation from this lake effect snow event over the next 48 hours, many areas will see considerable snowfall. We are especially focusing on northern and central Michigan, the upper peninsula of Michigan, as well as parts of western New York, Pennsylvania, and northeastern Ohio. In these regions, we anticipate at least 6 to 12 inches of snowfall, while areas marked in pink could easily see over 1 foot of snow. So there is plenty of snow heading our way for both Thanksgiving and Black Friday. If you have travel plans in these areas, particularly near the Great Lakes, please stay informed about the weather. To make matters worse, we are experiencing strong wind gusts alongside this lake effect snow and the surrounding low-pressure system. Unfortunately, over 50,000 people are currently without power across Wisconsin and Michigan due to this storm system, and that number is likely to increase today. As we move into late Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will face a major winter storm that will affect millions across the United States, disrupting many travel plans. Let's take a closer look at the forecast. By Friday night, a low-pressure system will be moving over the Rocky Mountains, which will help to intensify the storm as we transition into Saturday, resulting in even more snowfall. We can expect light to moderate snowfall to stretch from Montana back into Iowa and Minnesota, along with some rain across the central and southern plains. Early Saturday morning, this storm system will rapidly intensify across the Midwest. Notice the dark blue area around Iowa and Missouri, extending into Illinois and Nebraska. This indicates potential heavy snowfall Saturday morning, with rates of up to 3 inches per hour. This means the accumulating snow will happen quickly in this region. As we move into Saturday afternoon, the heavy snow will extend from central Nebraska into western Ohio just outside Cincinnati. Isolated strong to severe storms may occur in the deep south and southern plains on Saturday. By the evening, we will see heavy snow spreading across Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana. The most significant accumulation will occur in central Illinois and central Indiana on Saturday night, leading to considerable travel impacts, especially since Saturday is a busy travel day in the wake of Thanksgiving. On Sunday morning, this storm system will progress across the Great Lakes. Moderate to heavy snow will continue affecting the Great Lakes and the Northeast. Late Sunday into early Monday, the snow will mostly leave the United States, paving the way for our next notable winter storm, likely on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the following week. This next storm could stretch from Oklahoma all the way to New England, and we will touch on this more shortly. There is still a lot to cover in today's forecast. including snowfall accumulation. But before we dive deeper into snowfall totals, let's take a moment to discuss the sponsor of today's video. Your health is just as important as the weather we track, and I must admit, I used to put off doctor visits because I wasn't sure where to begin or who to trust. Then I had a wake-up call when I realized something was wrong, and I couldn't keep postponing finding help. I remember telling myself for days that nothing was amiss, even as the pain in my leg lingered. Deep down, I recognized that something wasn't right, but I was reluctant to deal with the hassle of locating an appropriate doctor. That's precisely why today's forecast is sponsored by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, find the right fit for your needs, and schedule an appointment instantly. ZocDoc isn't limited to one type of care either. They offer access to more than 100,000 providers across nearly every specialty, from primary care and dental health to eye care, urgent care, mental health, and more. It's your all-in-one resource for healthcare needs. You no longer need to call doctor's offices and wait on hold. ZocDoc allows you to do everything online. When you identify a doctor you need, you can check their actual appointment availability. Furthermore, ZocDoc helps you secure appointments quickly, typically within 24 to 72 hours after booking. You may even be able to obtain same-day appointments. Stop the waiting, stop the guessing, and get the health care you deserve. Visit ZocDoc.com/maxvelocity to find and book an appointment with a top-rated doctor instantly. That's ZocDoc.com/maxvelocity to find and book with a top-rated doctor today. A big thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's return to the forecast. From a snowfall accumulation perspective, this winter storm is set to produce a considerable amount of snow. I anticipate a widespread range of 6 to 10 inches of snow across southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, including Chicago. Near Des Moines, I expect about 10 to 12 inches of snow from this winter weather event, and I believe Chicago will likely receive around 7 to 8 inches of snow. However, I'm less certain about the amounts expected in St. Louis and central to northern Missouri. I suspect the model is overestimating snowfall near the rain-snow boundary, and expect totals to be much lower in this area, likely closer to 3 to 6 inches, possibly 4 to 8 inches of snow. Nonetheless, significant snowfall is on the way for these regions. In Wisconsin, a widespread 3 to 6 inches is in the forecast. If you're near Milwaukee, the chances for totals of 8 to 10 inches of snow are greater. As for Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, I expect at least 3 to 6 inches of snow throughout these areas. The further west you go, the heavier the snow will be as the low-pressure system remains strong and slow-moving. This should help to boost snowfall totals a bit further back to the west. In New York and Pennsylvania, we anticipate an additional 3 to 6 inches of snow for the majority of you. However, I believe many will see closer to 2 to 4 inches of snow. Even so, it is a delightful snowfall just before winter sets in. Now let me show you this graphic. It provides insight into the likelihood of receiving more than 6 inches of snow from now through Tuesday of next week. If you find yourself in the red area, there is at least a 90% chance of seeing more than 6 inches of snow. In many of these regions, like Chicago and even back over Des Moines and Davenport, we may accumulate closer to 10 inches of snow. But take note, back near St. Louis and across central Indiana, the probabilities decrease significantly further south. In fact, St. Louis only has about a 30 to 40% chance of receiving over 6 inches of snow. That's why I highlighted that earlier graphic and mentioned that this area might not experience what the models are indicating, which is more than 12 inches of snowfall. This is likely because temperatures will hover around or just above freezing for most of this snowfall event, which will limit snow accumulation. Overall, the odds are not in your favor for a major winter storm in St. Louis, though it is definitely a possibility for areas in the red or orange zones. These areas extend from central Iowa down to northern Indiana and northwest Ohio. Now let's focus on what is happening next week in the United States, as we are entering a weather pattern where several snowstorms will be occurring. The first one is just passed within the last 24 hours. Another one is set for this weekend, and it appears we may even see another significant winter storm next week, potentially a nor'easter. So here's what the scenario looks like on Monday morning. We can expect two differing air masses to collide, one coming over the Rockies and some moisture streaming up from the Gulf. This area here will act as the dividing line between warm and cold air, and is where our storm system will develop and move through on Monday and Tuesday. By Monday night, the GFS model suggests snow may fall from Oklahoma up into Michigan and even Indiana, along with possible sleet and freezing rain from Arkansas into Kentucky. It's important to remember that this prediction is still about 5 days away, so specific details can change. Therefore, try not to get too fixated on where the snow and ice may land, as these details are likely to shift over the coming days, especially with a big storm system set for this weekend. It may alter the path and intensity of this upcoming storm system as well. I share this with you because I want to ensure we're prepared for what lies ahead next week. By Tuesday morning, the storm system will rapidly move northeast, leading to potential snow and ice from Illinois up into New England, while the southeast might experience heavy rainfall and possibly isolated severe weather on Tuesday. Late Tuesday into early Wednesday, we could still see snowfall continuing across New England and the Northeast. However, the exact intensity of that snowfall remains quite uncertain. If this scenario does unfold, we could be looking at a northeastern system with widespread snow totals ranging from 6 to 12 inches, extending from Missouri all the way up into New England during the Monday through Wednesday period. Moving later into next week, we may still see additional snow. However, it likely won't be as substantial by the end of the first week in December. But make no mistake, a lot of snow is on the way, and winter will definitely begin with a flourish. Now, let's also discuss how cold temperatures are about to get across the United States. For Thanksgiving Day, we are already seeing below-average temperatures from the Midwest through to the East Coast, with the coldest weather in the Ohio Valley. Overnight into tomorrow, that cold air will only intensify along the East Coast. Even Florida will see low temperatures dipping into the 30s tomorrow morning. Then, from Friday into Saturday, another blast of cold air will sweep into the central and northern plains. Low pressure will traverse across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, bringing in very chilly air to these regions. This incoming cold front will be considerably stronger than what we are experiencing over the next 24 to 48 hours. The battle zone will emerge on Monday into Tuesday, where our next storm system will develop. Cold air off to the north and warmer air coming in from the south will create the potential for another winter storm during this Monday into Tuesday timeframe. By the middle and end of next week, the forecast becomes a bit more uncertain. However, I believe we will start to see a decreased likelihood of significant winter storms as we approach the end of the first week of December. Now, as for today's high temperatures, happy Thanksgiving once again. We're looking at 20s and teens across the northern plains and Midwest, but more pleasant conditions from Kansas down into the southeast. Tomorrow morning for Black Friday, we expect a widespread freeze from Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi all the way up through the northern plains. Many areas in the northern plains and upper Midwest will experience temperatures in the single digits, and wind chills could dip below zero. So please be sure to bundle up if you have any outdoor plans for Black Friday. And as always, I appreciate you for tuning in to today's forecast. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe below. We will likely be live for winter storm coverage nearly all day on Saturday, so remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when we go live. I also want to extend a huge thank you to Zach for sponsoring today's forecast. I truly appreciate all the wonderful sponsors of this channel. You can check them out through the top link in the description below, and be sure to support them too. I truly value all the wonderful sponsors of this channel. You can find more about them by clicking the top link in the description below. Please consider supporting them as well.